This is the most important topic, so do watch this video till the end. So in this video we are going to discuss about 5 things. The first thing is that we are going to talk about CLI and GUI. We are going to see the differences between CLI and GUI. We are going to see the uses of CLI and GUI. And after that we are going to see root directory, home directory and absolute path. What are these? We are going to discuss in the video. And after that we are going to talk about CLI commands. So CLI commands, we are going to execute them on a framework that is called Windows Powershell. So we are going to discuss about Windows Powershell also. We are going to discuss that why we are using Windows Powershell for executing CLI commands, not command prompt. And nextly, at the last, we are going to discuss about VS Code editor, and we are going to use that code editor for executing the CLI commands. So if you are unfamiliar with VS Code editor, you can watch this video, VS Code for beginners. The link for this video is in the description, and you can also click the I button. And let's start the video now. What is CLI? CLI stands for Command Line Interface or Command Line Input. It accepts some text input to perform operating system functions like creating a file, creating a directory, deleting a file or deleting a directory, and etc. In the earlier days, there was no GUI, or you can say graphic user interface. So the only way to interact with the computers is the computer terminals. Means the CLI was the only way to interact with the computer system in earlier days. So let's see the difference between GUI and CLI. Now we are in the folder Command Line Interface. Now with the help of GUI or graphic user interface, we are going to create a folder with the name file1. So right click here, click on new and select folder. We name it file1. So this is the directory or folder which is created with the help of GUI. Now we are going to create file2 directory with the help of CLI. So we are going to open PowerShell. Don't worry about the PowerShell. Why we are using PowerShell, we are going to discuss in a few minutes. So as with the definition, we have said that CLI will take some text input to make or perform some operating system functions. So we are going to write some inputs or text inputs here. So we are going to write make mkdir directory and give the file name file2. And as we hit the enter, we are going to see file2 is created here in the folder command line interface. Why it is created here only? Because as you can see that here also we have a path called command line interface. Don't worry what is path, we are going to discuss in a few minutes. Right now we are going to enter make directory file2 and a file2 directory is created here, will be created here. Okay, hit enter. Now as you see here also CLI is given some kind of reply also that this file is created here and the timestamp is given and the date is also given, and the file2 is created in the command line interface with the help of CLI. Now you must be thinking that why we are studying about CLI? Because graphic user interface is performing the same way as the command line interface, and graphic user interface is an easy way to perform the operating system functions. So we are going to discuss about what is the use of CLI and why we have to study about CLI. The question arises is that why we are studying about CLI? Because similar tasks is performed by GUI very easily. So the first point is that CLI requires less resources. Means for GUI you require a mouse also with your system. But for CLI you don't need a mouse, you need a keyboard, and you can interact with the system very easily and perform similar tasks with minimum resources. So this was the first point, it requires less resource. The second point is that it ensures high precision. Means you can perform some specific command to a specific destination very easily. So this was the second point. The third point is that CLI is very helpful in performing repetitive tasks. Suppose you have a folder and it contains 1000 files. Now you have to perform similar tasks on those 1000 files. So with the help of CLI you have to write one command, and that command will be executed on all the 1000 files automatically. So repetitive tasks becomes very easy. So this was the third point. It is helpful in performing repetitive tasks. The fourth point is that CLI is very powerful. Today's operating systems like Windows and Mac OS they comes with the security so that you don't mess up with your system core process. And GUI is not allowed to reach those core processes. But with the help of CLI, the whole system is in your hand, or you have the full control over your system with CLI. So that's why CLI is very, very powerful. So these were the points that CLI needs fewer resources, it ensures high precision, it handles repetitive tasks easily, and it is very, very powerful. For understanding CLI, we are going to use Windows PowerShell. So why we are using Windows PowerShell, not command line prompt, is that Mac operating system and Linux operating system are based on Unix, which shares similar terminal commands. But Windows have different kernel base and different command for MS-DOS. Hence, we are not using the command line prompt, but Windows comes with the built-in PowerShell framework, which shares the similar commands as of Unix-based shell. That's why we are going to use Windows PowerShell for the demonstration purpose of CLI commands. Now we are going to talk about three things: absolute path, root directory, and home directory. Let's begin with the topic. Before understanding the topic, what is root directory, what is home directory, and what are absolute paths, we have to understand that our operating system organizes the folder structure in three formats. Means there will be a parent and there will be a child. So there will be parent and child relationship between the folder structure. Now let's get to the point that what is root directory. Root directory is the first and topmost directory in the hierarchy, or you can say it will be the parent directory for all the child. The next question is, what is home directory? Home directory is the directory which is given to the user so that user can store their information or their files or their user information in it. What is absolute path? Every file and directory have absolute path which is based upon the root directory. So as in the diagram, this is the root directory and this is the child directory. Now if you want to reach the child directory, so what you have to do is that with the help of root directory, just add the name of child directory in front of the backslash. So this is called the absolute path, C:\program files. Now if you want to reach the Intel's directory which is present inside the root directory, so how you have to reach that Intel directory is that you have to write C:\intels. So this is the absolute path for this directory that is called Intels, and this is the absolute path for this directory that is called program files. Now if you want to reach the directory of users, you have to do C:\user. Now you have reached the directory user with the help of root directory. This is the root directory, C:\. As you can see that inside the users directory there is one more user directory. So if you want to reach this directory, how you have to reach the directory, this one is that now you have to add one more label by writing \user. So you will reach this directory, and the absolute path for this directory is this C:\users\user. So this was absolute path which is based upon the root directory. In this topic, we have learned what is root directory. It is the topmost directory. What is the home directory? It is given by the network or Unix operating system for the user to store information about it. And what are the absolute paths? These are the paths which are based upon the root directory so that we can reach particular directory of files consistent in the root directory. Let's see practically what is root directory and home directory. As you already know that root directory starts with C:. So this is the root directory right here. And inside this it will contain child directories because root directory is the parent directory. Click on the root directory. Now you will see various child directories available. We have seen in the diagram also that we have Windows, users, program files, and Intel as a child directory for the demo purpose. Now you can also see that our operating system is organizing the folder structure in a tree format. When you click the local disk C: means the root directory, you see is child directories right here. It is also shown with the help of an arrow that the operating system is organizing the folder structure in a tree format way. So when you click this arrow, you see various other directories also. And when you will click this arrow also, then you will see various other directory So this is the tree format, parent and child relationship. Now this is the root directory, and this is the home directory is available here. This is the user directory where user can store their personal information and various kinds of information for them. So this was root directory and home directories practical example. Now we are going to discuss various commands of CLI. So for the demonstration purpose of various commands of CLI, we are going to use Windows PowerShell. So let's discuss something about Windows PowerShell. So this is the user interface of Windows PowerShell. When you open the Windows PowerShell, it will be in small font size and the window will be very small. So if you want to change the configuration of the PowerShell, how you can do is that go on the top left corner, click this blue icon and select the properties tab. When you select it, you will see various tabs here: option, font, layout, colors and themes. In the option tag, you can change the cursor size, small, medium and large. In the font, you can change the font size and the font type also. In the layout section, you can change screen buffer size, window size and windows position. And in the colors, you can change the screen background, screen text, pop-up text, whatever is your need. In the terminal, you can change the cursor space also. So this was a brief introduction to the Windows PowerShell user interface. Now let's get back to the commands of CLI. So the first command we are going to discuss is called pwd. Pwd is used for print working directory. So basically it will print the working directory for you, but there is no need to use that because the working directory is already shown. When the working directory is unknown, then you have to use this command pwd, and it will give you print working directory. So this was pwd, print working directory. Next command is ls. It will display all the contents in the working directory. Suppose we are working in the user directory. Now we are going to list all the contents in it. So we are going to write ls, hit enter. So these are all the contents available in the working directory. Now next command is cd. cd is used to change directory. So suppose now we have to go inside a desktop directory. How we can do is that write cd desktop, hit enter. Now we enter desktop directory. Now inside a desktop directory, we already know there is a folder called command line interface. So if you want to go inside the command line interface, what you have to do is that cd command line interface, hit enter. Now we are inside the command line interface, and now we are going to use again ls to list the content of this directory. ls. So these are the two files which is present inside the command line interface. Next command is clear. Clear is used to clear the terminal. So all of the work we have done here, it will be cleared. So write clear, hit enter, and all the work we have done, it's gone from the terminal, but we are still in the command line interface directory. So this was clear. Next command is mkdir, which is used to make the directory. So we are going to make a new directory inside the command line interface. First of all, we have to list all the contents in this directory. So how we can list all the contents in this directory is using the command ls, hit enter. So these are the directories present inside this folder, command line interface or the directory, file1 and file2. Now we are going to create new directory here. So mkdir file3 and hit enter. So it says that file3 is created. Now you have to check whether the directory is created or not. So use the command ls. It will list all the directories or the files present in this folder. So file3 is here. So it is clear that mkdir command is working. So this was make directory command. Next command we are going to see is used to create the files in the directory. Not the directory, we are going to create files inside the directory. Files like Python file, JavaScript file, etc. So we are going to make files inside the file2 directory. So how to go to the file2 directory is that cd file2, hit enter. We are inside the file2 directory. Let's see the items present inside the file2 directory. How we can see is that using ls command. So there is no item present inside the file2 directory. Now we are going to create two files. One is of .py means Python file. Second is of JavaScript file means .js. How you can create is that write echo $null to angular bracket, write python.py. Now we are going to see the content of the file2 directory ls. And now you can see that there is a file that is called python.py present inside the file2 directory. So what this command is doing, basically it is creating python.py file inside the file2 directory. And this $null is saying that there will be no content available inside the python.py file, means the file will be empty. So this was how you can create a file inside the directory. Let's create another file that is of JavaScript. Echo null two angular bracket and write javascript.js. Let's see the content of the directory ls. Now you can see that there are two files available in the file2 directory, javascript.js and python.js, and both the files are empty because we have used $null here. That's why. Now we are going to see another command that is called cd dot dot. Cd dot dot is used to go back to the previous directory. Means if you want to jump to the command line interface directory back, so how you can go back? Write cd dot dot. Now we are jump from the file2 directory to the command line directory. And now we will list the items of this directory. How you can list? ls. So these are the items present inside the command line interface. Now we are going to create two new files inside file3, but with the help of new command. How you can create is that, how you can change the directory first, cd file3, hit enter. Now we are inside the file3 directory. Now let's see content of file3 directory ls. So it is empty. Now we are going to create two new files of .py and .js with the help of new command. So how you can create new item type file py dot py, and the python.py file is created inside the file3 folder. And if you want to create javascript, new item type file javascript .js, hit enter, and .js file is created. Now let's see the content of this file ls. Now there are two files present, .js and .py. So what this command is doing is that we are telling we are going to create new item, then we are going to tell item type, and the item type is file and a file name, and we are going to hit enter, and the file will be created inside the file3 folder directory. So that's how we can create new files. Next, we are going to see how to delete the directory and the files in the directory. So we are inside the file3 directory. Let's see the content of this ls. So there are two files present inside of this directory. So how you can delete this file is that write rm, write the file name javascript.js, and the file is removed. Let's see the content again ls, and you see that inside the file3 folder there is only one file contained, but previously there was javascript.js also. Now you have to delete python.py also. How you can do this? Rm python.py, hit enter, and content, the file is empty, the folder is empty. Okay, so that's how you can remove the file from the particular directory. Now if you want to remove the whole directory, so how you can remove the whole directory and all the contents present inside the particular directory. So let's go back to the command line interface directory. Now let's see the content of it. So there are three folders present. Change to file2, and let's see the content of it. Yes, there are two files present here, and now we are going to delete the directory file2 completely and all of its contents are two files, javascript files and the python file. How you can do is that rm rfo and the directory name that is called file2. Hit enter. Now we are going to see the content of the command line interface folder ls, and you can see is that file2 is deleted. So what this command is doing, first of all, it is saying remove. Recursively means remove all the contents present inside the file2, means remove these two files also. FO is used to prevent any warning, and write the directory name and hit enter, and directory and all of its content will be deleted. Now you have seen that there is a root directory also and the home directory also. So if you want to reach the home directory from here all, how you can reach is that you have to use cd change directory and use the title symbol. Title symbol is present above the tab key. This is the title symbol. Use it and press enter. Now we are inside the home directory. Back to the home directory. Now if you want to jump back to the root directory, how you can do is that cd backslash enter. Now we are inside the root directory. Now if you want to jump to the home directory, how you can do is that cd use title symbol, hit enter. Now we are inside the home directory. So that's how you can change between the root directory and the home directory. We have seen that while changing the directory, we have to write a full name of the particular directory in which we have to change or we have to jump. So to avoid that writing the full name, we can provide absolute path. How? Let's see. So let's see the content of this user directory first, ls. Now we have seen that there are desktop, documents, downloads, various folders present. Now we have to go inside a desktop directory, but we don't have to write the full name of it again and again. So how you can do is that cd, write de and press tab. It will give you absolute path. Now see, it will fill automatically here. As you can see, automatically the absolute path is present. Now hit enter. Now we have to go inside the command line interface directory. So first of all, what we have to do is that we have to write command line. So this was the case first. Now what we can do is that write command and press tab. It is auto populated. Now hit enter. Now we are inside the command line interface. So this was the advantage of using absolute path. Now if you want to change inside this absolute path, means go back, cd command, hit enter. Now from this you can go back, you can go to another file also inside the command line interface. Hit tab. We are inside the file 2, file 3, because file 2 is already deleted, that's why it is showing file 1 and file 3. So we are going inside the file 2, file 1, hit enter. So we are inside the file 1 directory with single line command. So that's how the absolute path is very helpful. So this was absolute path way to change the directory. As you know that CLI is very powerful and gives you whole command over your system. So when you are using the command to remove a particular directory and you are using the command rm-r-fo then the directory name, then be careful while using this command, because this command is very dangerous, because it recursively delete everything containing in the directory, and the content of the directory once deleted will never be recovered. So don't try to run this command over the root directory and the home directory, because the home directory contains the user information and its personal info about the user, and the root directory contains the personal information about the system. So do not try to run this command over the root directory and the home directory. Now we are going to see how practically this CLI commands will help us in our projects. So this is the VS Code editor and we have opened the command line interface here. Now we are going to open the integrated terminal which is provided by VS Code. So to open the integrated terminal, what we have to do is that we have to open the palette first. So how to open the palette is that Control plus Shift plus P to open the palette. Now we have to select this option, create new integrated terminal, or you can use the shortcut key Control plus Shift plus apostrophe, or you can type here create, you can type here terminal and select this. When the terminal opens, you can see that PowerShell is already selected. it means that this terminal will work exactly the same way the Windows PowerShell was working. So we are going to create some files and the directories inside this folder command line interface. As you can already see that there are two files present, file 1 and file 3. Now we are going to create another directory here. Write command make dir project 1. Hit enter. And you can see instantaneously the project 1 directory is created. Now inside this project 1 directory we are going to create two files. New item type file project file 1.js. Oh, some error it is here. The dash is missing from the new item dash item.js, and the file is created. But as you can see in the Explorer, the file is created outside the project 1. Why the file is created outside the project 1? Because we have not changed the directory. We are still working in the CLI directory. That's why the file is created outside the project 1 directory. So we are going to jump inside the project 1 directory. CD pro, press tab to autocomplete, and we are inside the project 1 directory. Now we are going to do the same command as before. Hit enter. Now the file is created inside the project 1 directory, and when we drop here you can see project file 1 is created. Now we are going to delete this outside file. So how you can delete this outside, now we are going to delete project file 1 which is outside the project 1 directory. How you can do is that you have to go back to the directory, previous one, cd dot. Now we are in the command line interface directory. Now we have to write the command remove rm file name with the file name project and hit the tab. It will auto complete it. Now you can see project file is gone. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to list the item of command line interface ls. So these are the files and the directories present inside the command line interface. So this was ls command. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to delete the project 1 directory. This directory we are going to delete completely from here. So write the command rm recursively without warning fo and write the directory name project 1. Once it is deleted, this project 1 directory will not be recovered. So be careful while using this command. Hit enter. And the project 1 directory is gone. Now we are going to use the clear command to clear the terminal. Write clear and hit enter. All the works which is done in the terminal is gone. So this was a CLI terminal command demo on VS Code. Let's recap what we have studied. We have studied what is CLI. It is stand for command line interface or command line input. It is used to interact with the system. Then we have studied some of the commands of CLI like pwd to print working directory, cd to change the directory, mkdir to make the directory, and etc. Then we have studied what is GUI. It is a graphic user interface which is used to interact with the system but in a graphical manner, and it's an easy way to interact with the system than the CLI. Then we have studied why we are studying CLI when we have GUI, which is very simple way to interact with the system. We study CLI because CLI needs less resources, it ensures high precision, and it performs repetitive tasks efficiently, and it is very powerful as it gives whole control of your system in your hand. Then we have studied root directory. It is a top directory of the hierarchy. Then we have studied home directory, which is a directory given to your user for storing personal information and user info, and etc. Then we have studied what is PowerShell. It's a framework which is used to run commands of CLI, and we have also studied that why we are using PowerShell because it's a similar terminal command as of Mac operating system and Linux operating system. So this was the recap. If you have any doubt regarding this topic, write down in the comment section. And if you think that this video was good, then do share the videos to others and subscribe the channel for new videos like this. And if you think that there are other topics on which the videos to be made, then write that topic in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video.